Were these 5-star reads? Hi friends, welcome back to Pages in Chaos, and I'm here to let you know whether or not these 3 books that I read were 5 stars based off of my predictions from a couple of months ago. So in case you forgot, I was asked by Lindsey at Lindsey's Little Library and Sarah at Sarah's Nightstand to join them for this round of 5-star predictions for their Book List Thursday video. And again, thank you so much for asking me to join you guys. I just had the best time picking out the books and trying to see if they would be 5 stars. So the theme for this round in September and October was fall. So there could be fall in the title, fall in love, a book that you're going to fall in love with. It takes place in the fall. There were so many different interpretations. So these were the 3 books that I picked that had to do with fall. It was November Road, because November, fall. The Only Plane in the Sky, which is about 9/11, and obviously it takes place in the fall as well, in September. And then No Plans to Fall. Fall is in the title, and it is a book that starts out at a fall festival, and it is just everything to do with fall. So I'm going to go in the order that I read the books. First up was The Only Plane in the Sky, An Oral History of 9/11 by Garrett and Graff. I read this book in print and also tandem read in the audio, because in the audio they had a lot of the actual recordings from the 911 calls. The president's speeches were the actual speeches. So I highly recommend that if you pick this book up, you pick up the hardcover, because it's got the pictures in it, but also listen to it on audio as well. This was definitely a 5-star read for me. It was, in my opinion, more than a 5-star. But the fact that it's all the oral histories and the actual interviews and words of either the survivors from the day or family members of those who sadly didn't survive, it was just so heartbreaking, and it just got me so emotional. And I don't get emotional very often when it comes to books and movies. The interviews that they did with the kids when they were adults, they interviewed them of what it was like to be in the schools that were evacuated. Even kids in Staten Island, which is where I'm from, that were close to the smoke or saw the smoke. I mean, this book, I know there's a lot of books out there about 9/11, but for some reason this book just really got me. Again, as a New Yorker, as somebody who was very much old enough to understand and see and know what was happening. I was a junior in high school, and I had family members that I didn't know if they made it out of the city that day. This book was incredibly heartbreaking, incredibly so well written, and I highly recommend that you pick up this book. My best friend, based off of my post, told me that she actually picked up the book and she did the same thing. She read it with her eyes as well as listening on audio. And she basically agreed with me that this is just an incredibly surreal and heartbreaking story, especially because we were both very much aware of and impacted by this day. Next up is November Road by Berney. This was about a loyal lieutenant to a crime mob boss. And this takes place with the JFK assassination as the background. And he figures out that he knows too much along with other people in the crime family. And they start getting basically knocked off, right? And he knows that he's next on the list. So he decides to go on the run, and he meets Charlotte, who is also on the run from her alcoholic husband. She takes her 2 kids, she leaves, and she decides she's going to start a new life. And they meet, and so Frank Guidry meets Charlotte and decides that he's going to use her and the kids as a cover. He's going to befriend her and offer her a ride to where she wants to go. I think she's going to meet up with like her aunt who lives in California to try to make a new life. And so that anybody that's looking for him and trying to track him down wouldn't think that he is hiding out with a family, because anybody that comes across him would say that he's a family man, and they would know that it's not him. I saw reviews that made me hopeful, and let's just say it didn't end up as I hoped. Was it a horrible book? No. Was it I don't even know. I don't really have a lot of words. I rated it 3 stars. And the only reason I rated it 3 stars is because of Charlotte's storyline. I really enjoyed Charlotte, her development in the book, and how she ended her journey. It was, in my opinion, the only good part really about the book. There was, I felt like, a lot of nothing going on for pages and pages. The end was predictable. The ending of the book, or the end chapters of the book, were better than most of the other chapters. It just wasn't for me. I really thought that it would be more exciting because it's listed as a crime thriller, or a historical crime thriller, being that it's set with the JFK assassination as the background, but it just wasn't for me. And 3 stars, and that's only because I liked Charlotte's story more than the entire story of the book. So this is probably going to even be an unhauled book for me. Now, the last book is No Plans to Fall, and this is by Kiri Patterson, and this is actually her debut novel. And I saw this on social media, and this just intrigued me so much that I picked it up actually I ordered it on Amazon because Barnes & Noble didn't have it in stock, and I loved this book. So it's a sweet small town romance. There is no spice in it. It is all of the Hallmark movie romance vibes. I loved it. I just finished this last night. Not because it took me so long to get through because it wasn't a fast read, because this was a fast and quick read. It's because I had a lot going on between school and work and other things that I couldn't just sit down and read this. Like, I probably could have read this in one sitting if I actually had the time. But this is just such an adorable read. I did give this 5 stars. I was back and forth between 4 and 5, and I landed on 5 just because I thought about it. I laughed so many times throughout this book. It was just a sweet romance. I mean, I just so enjoyed this book, and I really, really can't wait to see more from Kiri Patterson. So this is about Marissa, who is sworn off relationships. She has experienced tragedy. She lost both of her parents, and her nan has raised her since she was like 15 years old. And I love Nan. In this book, she is adorable. She is witty. She basically is just like your sweet little old grandma, but with so much spunk. And so when Marissa goes on this date with Caleb because she won this date on this auction at a fall festival, she vows, okay, this is a one-time thing. We had a great time and see you later. But then it turns out that Caleb winds up being the new manager of the law firm that she works for, and now they're thrown together. I really, really enjoyed this. It does have some tough topics. I read the author's note as to why she chose to write about this. And she just said that she really wanted women to feel seen who are experiencing infertility. So infertility is a major topic in this book. And I think she did it well. I really enjoy reading romances like this that also have serious elements behind it, and it brings it to light. You know, I love Abby Jimenez. I love Catherine Center for those reasons. And I feel like Kiri Patterson is going to go hopefully down that same road. And if she does, I will probably pick up anything that she writes. So this was a 5-star read for me as well. Well, let me know down in the comments if you've read any of these books, if you agree with any of my ratings, if any of them intrigue you. And don't forget to go check out Lindsey and Sarah's 5-star prediction videos and see what they picked up and whether or not they rated theirs 5 stars. Thank you again so much for inviting me to join you guys. I feel so honored to be part of the BookTube community now that I have been officially asked to do a collab video with you guys. And I can't wait to do more in the future with you. So that's all I have for today. Bye for now.